Casey Gray here from the Conscious Builder, and this is episode 10 of the 3-day cottage. If you missed the last episode, we did our first blower door test and we shared the results. On this episode, we'll be talking about the Panasonic ERV and air source heat pump, as well as the air source heat pump hot water tank, and we're gonna share some of the latest project picks. For heating and cooling on this project, we decided to go with two wall-mounted Panasonic air source heat pumps. Without getting into the nitty-gritty details of how heat pump technology works, essentially it is exactly how your refrigerator or freezer works, or how your current air conditioner works. The difference is it gets reversed. So the process itself gets reversed and it produces heating instead of cooling. This is the same technology that goes into geothermal, except that's called a ground source heat pump as opposed to an air source heat pump. The reason this technology is used a lot in high performance building is because it's an extremely efficient use of electricity to produce heat. So in this case, it depends on where you live, but we can easily reduce the energy consumption with heat pump technology as opposed to an electric resistance by over 50%. For the hot water, we also went with an air source heat pump, which is the exact same technology. It just has the compressor on the unit as opposed to outside. So what that means is that as the water is being heated, it's actually dumping cold air into the room. So you have to be conscious about what room you put this in, because it will make that room colder, which helps you in the summer, but it's going to hurt you in the winter months. You also need to make sure that it's in a room where you can close the door, because the units are quite noisy. Now, once again, it is a lot more efficient than going with a straight electric resistance hot water tank, but you just have to deal with that cold air coming off of it as well as the noise from it. In most cases, you're able to put this away somewhere in a house, in a mechanical room, but the last thing you need to consider is that that room needs to be large enough, because the unit will need a certain amount of volume in order to work efficiently. So read the specs if you decide to go with something like this on your build. The fresh air system we went with for this cottage was the Panasonic IntelliBalance 100 ERV. This was a great option because it's actually designed for a smaller space like this cottage. What these are essentially fresh air systems. They are the lungs to your home. So how they work is fresh air comes into the home and stale air leaves the home. However, as the fresh air is coming into the home, it gets filtered and it goes through a core where the stale air preconditions the fresh air coming in. So that means that if it's 20 degrees inside your home and minus 20 degrees outside, some of that temperature, most of that temperature from the 20-degree air will be transferred to the minus 20-degree air and come into your home at 15 degrees, for example. The real difference is in the core. An HRV has a core which does not allow the transfer of moisture from one side to the other, meaning that if you have a humid day outside and you have your air conditioning run inside and you're running an HRV, all that hot, humid air is coming into your home. Yes, it's getting preconditioned, so it's not as hot when it comes into the house, but it's still carrying all of that humidity into your house, and then your air conditioner has to work even harder to get rid of it. Whereas if you have an ERV, that moisture will partly be transferred into the outgoing air, so your air conditioner won't be working as hard.
This is our kitchen counter. This is our toolbox, which is now for our cutlery at the moment. It works fine. We do have a stove and we do have a working sink, which is awesome. And the toilets are flushable. So this is our little eat-in counter here. Knocking off these clips. It's super satisfying. The mitered edges on this niche turned out really well. Looks good.
Glad you tuned in to this final episode of our 3-day cottage series. I know the project is not 100% complete, but now it is in the very capable hands of Kim and her partner. And we will be posting updates, so be sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date on how this project gets completed. If you're more interested in the retrofit side of things as opposed to the new construction, be sure to check out what we did to this 161-year-old stone home. And until next time, remember to live consciously.